She was just started crying and just couldn't believe it. There was definitely a lot of ups and a lot of downs. When you start from scratch, you're out there by yourself with a rake, a bucket, and this is going to be hard. This is going to take a lot of work every single day. So got to the top and then said, I'm done. Let's go a different route. Let's do something completely different. So if you would have told me 6 years ago I'd be doing this, I would have said you're absolutely crazy.
Welcome back to the Built Local podcast. Today we have a fun guest from Kansas City, Missouri, or Kansas City, Kansas. I don't really know. We got Matt on today. How you doing?
I'm doing good. That's the great debate here. If you're on the Kansas side or the Missouri side, you got to be careful.
That's right. Well, go ahead and fill us in. Where are you at?
I'm on the Missouri side of Kansas City.
For anybody who doesn't know who you are and doesn't know about your business, can you give them a little bit of backstory about you?
Yeah, so my name is Matt. I'm part of Poo Squad here in Kansas City. We started about 5 years ago here. We're actually a smaller franchise, so we've got a few locations across the country. Started by my good buddy Jamie, who I got to meet in my previous life, my previous career, and he kind of wrangled me in. We absolutely love just being a part of the Kansas City community and growing this freaking awesome industry.
It is so cool. Well, what was the previous career path that you're in? What was your life before poop scooping?
It's been 5 years with this. Before this, I was in the grocery store retail business, and I did that for over 16 years, kind of working my way up in a local Midwest grocery chain. Got to the top and then said, I'm done. Let's go a different route. Let's do something completely different.
Let's go scoop poop. I love it. This is a little bit of a side tangent, but I was in California with another poop scooper who has a marketing agency that helps poop scoopers. And we were doing a little video that we're going to use. And somebody walks by and we're like pausing, waiting for them to walk by on this trail that we're on. And we're like kind of in the middle of shooting a video. And their dog just pooped right in front of us. And the lady is like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And I was like, actually, you don't know how relevant that is. Like, that is actually perfect. Because dogs be pooping and somebody's got to pick it up. So,
all right. That's awesome.
So what was your initial reactions though to being like, all right, poop scooping when Jamie was talking to you about it? What did you originally think?
When I was in my previous career, I lived where Jamie is and started this company. I thought he was crazy. I didn't understand that that's an actual business you could build. So if you would have told me 6 years ago I'd be doing this, I would have said you're absolutely crazy. I thought, hey, good for him. That's cool. After moving and coming to Kansas City and being here for a little bit, I'm going to give Jamie a call and see how things are going out there and how his poop scooping business is treating him. And one thing led to another.
What was kind of the cinch moment for you that was like, all right, this is legit. This is something really, really worth pursuing?
I think talking to him and becoming part of a couple Facebook groups even before I started the business and seeing, wow, there's some people that are like really successful doing this across the country. There's really nobody here in Kansas City yet. There was one or two companies that were smaller. And, you know, I'm a numbers guy, so then kind of like digging into the numbers of, wow, we could really like take this thing off. So then a couple more conversations and it was, this is it. This is the career path I want to take of go run my own thing, do my own show, be in control of my own destiny, and something that's pretty unique and people are going to have a lot of questions about.
For sure. Well, fast forward to today. At this point, how many customers are y'all serving and scooping yards right now?
We're right in the top of spring rush, so that number will probably change, but I think we're about 725. So it's been great, a good 5-year run, and hopefully that number is going to continue to grow as we get through a couple busy months here these next 2 months.
Well, what was it like starting? You leave kind of your corporate role that you've grown in the retail grocery space and you're like, I'm starting this poop scooping thing. What was the first year like? Was there substantial growth and you're like, this is really great? Or were there opportunities for you to quit or thinking, hey, this might not work out?
There was definitely a lot of ups and a lot of downs. You know, when you start from scratch, you're out there by yourself with a rake, a bucket, and this is going to be hard. This is going to take a lot of work every single day. Yeah, I mean, I just jumped into everything on my own for the first 7 months I joined a chamber, I joined a networking group, I found a Rotary Club, and just found all these different organizations I could just start getting around people because, you know, especially in the first few months, you don't have a lot of customers. So you just start going into everything and you have your ups and downs of this week I didn't get any new customers, this week I got a lot. So it's just a lot of ups and downs until you get to a point where you feel like, okay, I'm ready to hire somebody or find another truck or do these things. And even once you get to those big milestones, you still have a lot of questions as you go. So much of it was just, I have a great support system in my wife and having that person that kind of just believed in you and trusted in your decision and you just got to keep pushing yourself. Get over those bad days and enjoy the good days.
Yeah, for sure. Keep showing up. Well, I think there's so many people listening to this that watch these podcasts that are probably in their first year or two of growing that poop scooping business, because obviously it's like really blown up over the last like 2 years. Real quick, if you're a local business owner and you want to start getting customers from Google, you know how important Google reviews are. Every week, I talk to business owners just like you across hundreds of industries who know reviews matter, but never seem to have the time or the system in place to actually get them. That's exactly why I've spent the last 2 years building Review Harvest. We built it with a non-tech savvy business owner in mind, so anybody can set it up in minutes and start getting reviews today. It automates the process of getting real reviews from your customers, responding to those reviews, and repurposing them across your website and across your social media platforms. It's a set it and forget it software. You can get it all set up in about 10 minutes and you never have to worry about reviews again. We can integrate into the tools you're already using, so you don't have to change a thing. You don't have to train your team on how to request reviews. You don't have to request them manually. You get customers, we get you reviews. It's simple as that. And the first play in our playbook is what we call a review reactivation. You probably have hundreds or thousands of previous customers who loved your service but never left your review. So a lot of times our users can double or even triple their reviews just in the first couple months of working with us when we do that review reactivation. What were your first 2 years in terms of like growth and numbers, just so you can maybe set some expectations of, what's required to get there? Not saying that everybody's going to get there, but obviously you worked hard and you've been able to grow it. So what was it like first 2 years for you?
I just tried to get aggressive and be in the community and find ways to grow kind of organically. Not a big budget to work with in the beginning, which is like a lot of people. I was pretty aggressive. I was going to 8 to 10 events every week, a couple every day, and then scooping a few yards in between. And I think 7 months we hit 100 clients. Towards the end of the year, just the people I had talked to, I knew going into the next year we were going to have a big spring rush, and that's when we were going to grow. So at 7 months, 100 clients, I said, okay, I need to go hire somebody. And I went and hired somebody that I actually knew from my previous career. And he essentially took over all the yards, and I kind of just started over. And I just went back to events and went back to all these different things. As we got bigger, I got close to 100, I couldn't do as much, but just kind of restarted all that stuff, started learning more about Facebook advertising and Google advertising to be ready for that, our first official spring. Just kind of started over it with that new employee. It gives you that bolt of, okay, now I've got a person that's depending on me. My income just got cut greatly because I hired somebody, so let's get aggressive again. We kind of did that, and me and him went through the first spring, and we got to the end of spring and said, dang, we need another person, and added another part-time person, made him full-time, and just kept growing.
That's awesome. Okay, you're going to all these events. Where were you finding these events? How do you get involved in events? Were these basically just like local networking events, or how are you finding all these events?
I think 2 days after I started the business and became official, I think before I even scooped my first yard, I went to the chamber. I know every community's got a chamber. Some are big, some are small, but just got plugged in with them right away. And a lot of the events really stemmed from that. You met people that said, hey, I'm in a Rotary Club, you should come join. Or, hey, I got a business group in this part of town, you should come join. And started kind of joining some of those other things. And some worked out, some didn't. But even through Facebook, I found, there's a group here in Kansas City that meets once a month.
Awesome.
You meet different people there. So just really trying to find anything and everything. Yeah. Find the ones that you can stick with, and find the ones that maybe that one didn't work, but I made one connection and we move on to the next.
For sure. I love that. And I think when I used to go to, and I live in like the panhandle of Florida and like kind of a beach town, and there's more realtors here than there are people almost. We go to these Chamber of Commerce events and like, holy crap, it was realtors. If I'm standing there and I'm talking to like somebody that's got Poo Squad on their shirt, that's a breath of fresh air. I'm going to remember that. I'm thinking about these networking events. If you just go in and blend in with everybody else, you might not be able to make very much headway. But if you can go in and be like, hey, we scoop poop, who's going to forget that? Especially because a lot of people might be hearing that for the first time ever.
And I still get it after I've been established for 5 years and I think have a pretty good presence here. If I wear my orange shirt with my Poo Squad logo and I go to an event, I don't have to do anything. People come talk to me because they want to know what is the deal with that.
That's the blessing of this really cool industry that I love. Okay, cool. So then growing, hired more people. Over the last 3 years, obviously y'all have grown a bunch. What has been your favorite channel for growth? In terms of if you had like only focus on one way to grow your business, what has been the most beneficial in the past couple of years?
Social media has been really big for us, mainly Facebook. I had a pretty good knowledge of how Facebook worked from my previous career. I built pages for different stores I worked at. So I knew a little bit, not that it hasn't changed in 5 years. It's changed pretty drastically, but I think social media is big, just trying different things and experimenting. And we partnered with a company, I think 2 years in, to kind of help us with Facebook ads and really just utilize their knowledge and their assistance and from what I already knew too. And then kind of said, okay, we don't need you anymore. I can go do this on my own. Kind of just grew on our own. I think for us, Facebook's big. There wasn't really any presence on social media, a pooper scooper company when we started. That's different now, but I think that was a big avenue for us. And it still is. That's a big piece of our advertising in the springtime, especially.
There's obviously a lot more poop scoopers now. So what do y'all do to kind of stand out from the rest of the businesses in the area? And, how do y'all continue to provide incredible service even as you scaled up to over 700, customers?
I think just always trying to find something that's a differentiator. First, when really doing any communication, text messaging communication, and then people catch up to that. So then it was, hey, we're going to send the gate pictures. I think for us, the biggest thing now is just the communication and the service. The grocery chain I worked for was not known as the cheapest grocery store in town by any means. It was probably one of the more expensive. The differentiator in that industry that's the same now, and building those connections and answering people right away, showing up, being there when they have a concern or a question. I think service is just a differentiator. I had a client that I went to this morning, brand new client, said she reached out to 3 different companies. I was the only one to call her back the same day. One of them still hadn't called her back, and it had been 4 days since she reached out to me. For us right now, it's just service. It's just being there. It's talking to people. It's letting them know they can depend on us.
It's crazy how simple it can be. And you probably to think the other companies she worked with probably don't have as many customers as you do.
And she even said the first company she called, she saw a yard sign out, and she's like, oh my gosh, somebody does that. And their price was starting at $35, but that was the one that never called her. And she went with us, and our rate was $92.50 a month. Yeah. But she's like, I'm so happy I went with you guys because you came when you said, you showed up, you answered the phone, and I'm super excited I picked you.
From a customer's perspective of the customer journey, if we can just do what we say we're going to do, show up on time, communicate. We've hired multiple companies in the last year to do stuff on our home. And the amount of times that I get left in the dark and don't know when they're showing up, what they did, or did they come or not come? What's the next step, or where are we at in the process? The amount of times you don't get that communication is just exhausting. Just to do the basics at scale. How do you manage that with 700 clients?
We're at a point now where I've got a gal that helps in the office a few days a week. I am not in yards a ton outside of springtime when we're really busy, and I answer constantly. There's probably a lot of technology and automations that can be put in place. I want to respond to them. I want to answer it. I want to do those things right away. And we've utilized some of those pieces, but it's just responding and answering right away. I think it's the biggest thing. You show that from the beginning. Service is paramount for us, and we're going to answer you when you have a question or concern. It makes a huge difference for them.
Well, as somebody that's had so many customers, and I mean, people just rave about y'all and y'all's reviews, obviously. Tell us a story about a time that y'all maybe went above and beyond, for scooping somebody's yard.
I had a gal reach out this spring. She was just looking for a one-time cleanup. Her dog passed away. She was pretty distraught, not feeling real great. I said, hey, we'll get you on a schedule, get you taken care of. Didn't send her an invoice. Wasn't going to charge her at all. She reached out 2 days later. She's like, hey, I've never gotten an invoice. What's going on? I said, hey, I'm not charging you for coming out. I'm keeping you in my thoughts this week as you're going through some stuff with your pup passing. We did that one on the house. And she was just started crying and just couldn't believe it. And I think those little things, that was never a long-term customer, never a huge dollar amount, but just making that difference. That person's probably going to go tell that story to other people, and it didn't take a lot of time out of our day to, make a difference for her.
No, 1,000%. That's so good. And that's the Chewy model. I don't know if somebody hasn't heard what Chewy does when somebody's dog passes away. I think it's a great for everybody in the pet industry to know. But basically, if you're on a recurring service for dog food or anything that you're buying from Chewy, and then somebody reaches out and says their dog passes, they automatically refund the last charge. They let you keep the food, and they send you some flowers or something just in honor of it. Great way as a company to show you value your customers. And what's so crazy to me is that is not only is that caring for your customers, but it's also the best way to grow your business in the long run. In the short run, you feel the 30 minutes or an hour you spend in their yard, you didn't get charged, and you scoop their yard for free in the short run. But in the long run, that stuff pays off. Well, what about in terms of the standard and this quality? And that's one thing that I see constantly with poop scoopers that grow to y'all's size, an increase in negative reviews, kind of the degrading of the service. So how do y'all keep a standard of hey, we scoop the poop and we do it well, even at this volume?
That's one of the most challenging things for sure as you grow is how do you get someone to care as much as you care about the business you run and the business you built? And I think it's a lot of it's finding the right people. I've been pretty fortunate where I've interviewed and hired a lot of people in my career between my previous job, and finding those people that you can rely on, that show some care. I do a week training, which some people say a whole week for someone that's just going and picking up dog turds. It's important that they kind of understand how you feel about the business and pride that you take in what's a simple task to a lot of people. So spending that week with them and then just constantly keeping the team together. When you have people going and doing the independent work, it's hard to kind of keep that atmosphere and keep that camaraderie amongst your teams. So we go out to Royals games, we go out to breakfast every couple months and just get the team together so we know, hey, we're all in this together. We all want to help each other, and we talk about our standards and we talk about those different things as we grow. And I feel very blessed. I got a great team that just has a higher standard than I feel like I have sometimes even.
There's probably a lot of home service business owners or poop scoopers business owners listening to this that struggle to hire and find quality employees. I was talking to somebody just this morning, basically last week, oh my gosh, I love my poop scooping business. And this week, like, oh my gosh, I can't find somebody to do the job right. There was a day I wanted to quit or sell. Today would be the day. What are a couple questions or a couple things you do throughout the interview process to find the right fit to keep that standard?
I think kind of looking at their career history and kind of what they've done, really explaining the negatives to what the job is. It's a big thing is, hey, we work outside in the rain and the heat and the cold. If they've never had an outside job, then we kind of talk about that quite a bit of what that looks like and how that's going to be. And then really kind of explain, hey, you're picking up dog poop. It's not glamorous. It's not going to be exciting. This is what it is. But there's a lot of positives to what the job can look like for someone that wants an outdoor independent job. We talk about kind of the negatives, really, is a lot of times how I start the interview, and really just kind of understand, do they fit that independent worker, doesn't need a lot of other people around, has no issues with being outdoors.
Yeah.
I think those are the big things. But honestly, for us too, we get so many referrals from our current employees. One of my first employees I had, her husband came to work for me. She referred a friend from another part-time job she had. When your employees are saying, hey, I love working here, this is what I want to do, and they're referring other people, then you're building a good culture. And that's a good thing.
Obviously, we're in spring rush. Got 720 or 30, you said, customers. What are kind of your plans for 2026 and beyond? Where do you want to take this thing?
I've always had pretty big visions, big plans, and some outlandish maybe. We've kind of got ourselves a nice warehouse and office space this last year and kind of hit that step, got out of the home office. My goal in the next 3 years is to have all our trucks paid off. Keep growing strong, pay down the expenses. And, I got a gal that's helped me in the office. It's kind of getting to that point of having that full-time manager that can do what I do. But we got to get more clients and keep growing to do it.
Yeah, well, one thing, talking about getting more clients, y'all have been absolutely crushing it on Google. So I wanted to ask a little bit, what's your experience been like with Review Harvest so far?
Oh my God, it's tremendous. We started with you guys, I think just January this year.
Yeah, it's been less than a month, or like about a month.
So almost 5 years in business. And I think we had like 74 reviews. Absolutely terrible. I mean, for a company as big as we are, for that little reviews. Just in the short time we've been with you, we are knocking on the door of 400. Should be there within the next week or two. So incredible in just a short time.
No, you've been absolutely crushing it. I remember hopping on a call with you, looking at your Google business profile, and then you telling me how many customers y'all had. And I was like, let's go. This is going to be great.
You definitely weren't wrong, and so much so that one of our other locations uses you now too, and they're seeing the same exact results. It's incredible.
What's been your favorite part of using Review Harvest in the tool?
It's just so easy. It links with which is our CRM, and we don't have to think about it. And I think that was one of the things you and I talked about is another company you worked with. It's set up and you forget it. And you just see the reviews come in from all the new clients we're doing this spring. They're filling out reviews, and I didn't even think about it. I didn't send them anything. Review Harvest just had it taken care of, and it was all set up. It's incredible watching those just roll in, and you don't have to think about anything with it.
One less thing to think about. As an entrepreneur, you've got a million things on your plate, right? It's HR, it's finance, it's accounting, it's marketing, it's sales, it's, hiring, it's everything. So if we can just kind of take one little piece of that puzzle away from you, give it back and give you your attention back, that's what we love.
And you can see from our 4+ years, we obviously needed some help with that.
From 70-ish to 300 and whatever you're at now, 60 or something is great results. So I always like to close out with, for somebody in your position who's really grown your poop scooping business, there's a lot of home service businesses or poop scoopers. If you had like 60 seconds to condense as much knowledge as you've learned in the past 5 years to give them advice, what would you say?
Keep doing the things. Put yourself out there and don't be afraid to make mistakes in trying different avenues for advertising. But learn from each one of those mistakes. If you try an ad on Facebook and don't get results, figure out why. And just keep doing things. I jumped in all those events like I talked about earlier. I knew I couldn't get a customer sitting on my couch because the industry was new. I needed to tell them who we are and what we do and just get in front of people. Go do the things.
No, I love it. It's such good advice. We hear all the time from business owners who have tried to do this stuff, certain things to market and grow their business. It's like, oh, Facebook ads don't work. And it's a lot more useful to say, I don't know how to make Facebook ads work. Right? Same thing with Google. Same thing with networking events. It's the same thing with everything. SEO, websites, whatever it is. It's like you just don't know how to do it yet. And you can either find somebody who's great at it and can do it, can teach you how to do it, or do it for you. The main problem is for most people listening is probably that nobody knows you exist. Matt's been there for 5 years, got over 700 customers, and he still meets people all the time who have no idea who he is. Well, Matt, where can people find you? Obviously, we'll have a link down to your website below. So if you're in the Kansas City area and you need some poop scooping, I don't know what the odds of that happening. This will probably get like 14 14 or 15 people to watch it. So I'm just kidding. But I don't know what the odds of that are, but we'll have that link below. But besides that, is there any other good places for people to find you and contact you if they need you?
Check us out online at poosquad.com. Go to our Facebook page, Poo Squad KCMO. Check us out in those spots.
Well, we'll have all that stuff linked down below. It was great having you on, and have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Clay. Appreciate it.